Imagine a 9-year-old boy playing his Nintendo Switch, having a wonderful time. And then he hears something in the room next door, his parents fighting. In an effort to break up the fight, he runs in there and sees his mom crying and wraps his arm in a big hug. He wants to take away her pain. He feels her pain and the pain of an unloving relationship. He's told, buck up, get out, go play. Left alone in his pain, he buries it deep within. The next time the same thing happens, instead of running in, he sits there and experiences more lonely emotional pain. Everyone hopes to avoid life's worst problems: disease, death, war, violence, abuse, accidents. Emotional trauma results from extraordinarily stressful events, shattering our sense of security, feeling helpless in a dangerous world. I believe it is absolutely critical to increase access to music and the arts in schools in order to combat this emotional trauma. Today, I'd like to first address emotional trauma. Next, I'd like to discuss how research on healing from trauma is linked to movement, music, and art. Finally, why it is absolutely critical for schools all over the world to implement arts programs. Harvard doctors in an article in Biological Psychiatry stated that 75% of people will experience trauma in their lifetime. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Overwhelming, traumatic, and distressing experience cause confusion, sadness, anxiety, depression, numbness, and disassociation. Children cannot learn when they are facing emotional trauma. Now let's look at what research is saying about the arts and overcoming trauma and stress. A world-renowned psychiatrist, his name is Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. He's an expert on healing from traumatic stress. Quote, "Some experiences imprint themselves beyond where language can reach. Trauma victims cut off their relationships with their bodies. Trauma is locked then within the body. Dancing, singing, yoga, the arts discharge energy and unlock and allow release of trauma from the body." We already know through science that increased neural connections, reduced stress and cortisol levels, increased nervous system capacity, improved sense of wellness, and social connection are all results of music and the arts in the schools. Globally, depression is one of the leading causes of illness among adolescents. Suicide is the third leading cause of death in 15 to 19-year-olds. 1 billion of our 7 billion people on this earth are between the ages of 10 and 19. The CDC has stated that 1 out of every 6 kids has some type of behavioral or emotional disorder. With the 56 million children in our American schools, let us put movement, music, and the arts at the forefront of our educational instruction. We must allow the research to speak. Emotional trauma is skyrocketing. Anxiety, depression, suicide rates are skyrocketing. If trauma is locked within the body, and the only way to release it is through movement, creativity, music, art, drama, we must help our children combat these things. We must be vigilant in providing access to these programs for our children and fight for the right to survive.